welcome to my channel, A Cup of Tea with Krista Joy. I'm so happy you're here today. I am really excited about sharing today's message, but today first, please subscribe so you can hear recipes and other parts of my story. You can get encouragement and advice on all sorts of things like gardening and weight loss and breast cancer and my experience with surgeries. So I'm thrilled to be able to share and so glad that you're here. Write a comment if you have a question or if you have a topic you would like me to cover. Make sure you do that and click the like button. Tell me that you love sharing tea with me. Today I was very purposeful about my mug. Oh my gosh, I love this set. My husband and I went to our honeymoon in Prince Edward Island because I love the story of Anne of Green Gables. We went there because of that. Also, it's near Cape Breton, which is a very highly Celtic area, and that is a music that my husband and I just thoroughly enjoy and are passionate about. So we got this set in Prince Edward Island near the Anne of Green Gables series, so it's kind of like my anniversary set. I love it. Also, sharing my tea. I'm very excited about this. This is a tea. It's called Tiny World Tea. A friend of a friend does this tea brand. It is excellent. Today I'm drinking Fountain of Youth. It's very fruity. It's very light. I really love it. It's an herbal, and it's wonderful. Oh, it feels so good. I just love my tea. So, also, you can put a comment. What kind of tea are you drinking today? Today, I want to talk about when you have a doctor who says, oh, just lose 40 pounds. That's what happened with me. If you have seen some of my other videos, I talk about my breast cancer journey and especially my hernia repair that I had a year ago. And well, I realized that I had something wrong with me after my tram flap, and I waited a while. I finally went in to my surgeon. He said, oh, you have some hernias and we can easily fix it, but just lose 30 pounds. At that point, I was already overweight. I had finished all of my treatment. I was a couple years out of treatment and was disappointed that the mesh had failed in several spots. However, when my surgeon says, just lose 30 pounds, can you do it? I was like, oh yeah. No, I couldn't. And I didn't. Him saying that really made life challenging for me, and it was a couple years before I did anything. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what you should do when your doctor or your surgeon says, just lose X amount of pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. It does not matter how much it is. Here's my advice, and here's what I think you should do. First of all, don't get offended. I really honestly think that they have the best interest in your interest, and losing that weight is really important for, if it is possible, for being able to healthily have the surgery. Whether it's complications, it's how the repair works and all that kind of stuff, really they want you to be healthy to do it. And that is ultimately their goal. Two, I think a lot of doctors don't necessarily realize what that entails. When they say a phrase, just lose blank pounds, they don't realize for a lot of us who were overweight, I was morbidly obese, I weighed almost 250 pounds. I'm 5'1". That was not good for my frame. I don't think they realize what that actually means. And I think, especially my surgeon, he honestly wanted the best for me and the best outcome, so he knew I just needed to lose the weight, and hence those words, but I don't think they see and hear that there's a lot behind that in the whole weight loss culture, And me personally, I had a little trauma about losing weight because I had lost 25 pounds, and that's when I found my lump in my breast. And I truly believe I found it because I had lost weight. And because mine was still growing, it probably was there for a couple years. So there was a lot to that comment. But number 3, I want to say, please, please, please do not use fads or trends, or even just, I don't even like the word diets, to be able to lose the weight healthily for your surgery. I really honestly think that unless you have a medical reason to, cutting out food groups, being a very restrictive diet, I think all of those things are not good. And ultimately, because I think it needs to be a lifestyle change. It should not be something that you just do just for the surgery, because then it's going to come back. Number 4, you need to make a plan. My surgeon, it was January, it was 2020. Little did I know what would happen, 2.5 months later. But he told me that, and I didn't make a plan. I did not decide what I needed to do to be successful to have the surgery. Later on, I figured out that, even though the surgery wasn't necessary, I did not feel good unless I had the surgery. But I didn't make a plan. And one of my favorite new quotes is, if you don't fail to plan, you plan to fail. One, I didn't know that what was happening in March of 2020, but 2, I did not make a plan. So he told me this, and I said, sure, I can do that. And then I didn't, because I didn't make a plan on how I was going to do it. So then number 5 comment that I would like to make is, get a coach. I know a lot of people who meet with Coaches 101, who meet coaches once a week. I personally could not have done it without a coach. I've done it in the past on my own, and I just don't stay focused. A coach is a person who can encourage you. A coach is a person who can give you advice, but also can give you the hard love. And hard love sometimes is really necessary when you have to do hard things. Like I said, I love my mug that talks about, beautiful girl, you can do hard things, because I did not realize until I had a coach that I was capable of doing hard things. So, and I don't want you to do it alone. I think this is a topic that, for your health, you need to have someone come along side by side with you. Just like if you think of like 12-step programs, right? They have someone who's been on the journey and in the past and can help guide you along in it. It's really easy to get really good at the beginning and then have the motivation die off, and a coach can help you through that. So I really strongly suggest that you get a coach to help you through it. And I think a nutritionist is different than a coach, right? A nutritionist is a person who has studied how nutrition works in your body, and sometimes I think that is necessary. But I think a lot of people go to nutritionists, get the same information, and then does nothing. Like, that was my experience. Like, they're like, oh, well, how about you meet with a nutritionist? She told me, like, here's all the food groups. Here's pictures of how much you should eat and of each, like, a deck of cards for a serving of meat and such and such. But it wasn't something that was coaching. It was just information, and it was information I already had. So it didn't do me any good. So I think planning and then also getting a coach will really help you surpass your goals. What number are we in? Oh, yes, number 6. So none of us do well without a community. I think about my life and what it would be like if I didn't have the community of believers that I have, the community of friends I have, and now I have a community of people who have done weight loss with me. And I don't think I would be successful in any of those things. Oh yeah, and music teaching too. I have a great music teaching community. I don't think I would be anywhere if I didn't do it with them and have a community of people to keep me accountable, give me new ideas, be able to support me when things are hard. I really honestly think that we were not made to do life alone. Some people need a larger community than others, but I really believe that having a community of people doing hard things with you is really important. When I think about specifically weight loss, my group of 12 of us, we all started at the same time. We had struggles at different times and we all had different amounts of weight to lose, but we were able then to help and support and give advice when someone else went through something that we had just been, or maybe we're going through it together and we can help each other keep accountable. And I think community helps us be accountable. It doesn't always have to be, but it absolutely could be a way to keep yourself accountable for doing the hard thing that you want to do. And honestly, it goes into number 7. When we can do it with community, when we can have a coach, when we choose not to do fad diets or take away certain food groups, I really honestly think that then it becomes a lifestyle. And weight loss, it's a tricky subject, right? Everyone has opinions on it. And honestly, this is my opinion too, but I have been through it. I'm going on, 19 months since I've started it, and I've really been able to keep it off and feel like I've been really successful. And I want to help you be successful. And those doctors, they say the thing, but they don't always tell you how to do the thing and to do it well and successfully. Because if it doesn't become a lifestyle that is attainable, then it won't stay off. And so I went to my surgeon after I had lost where he said originally needed to be, which is at 190. And that's when I saw him. And I was going to continue to lose weight. That was in January. I knew I wanted to have the surgery over spring break at the end of March. That gave me a couple months to continue to lose weight. And I did, thank goodness, because once I got I think it was a CT scan. I had some kind of scan for him to plan how it was going to work out. He called me and he said things like, I don't think you should do this. The safest thing to do is to not have the surgery. There are high risk of complications. It's a really challenging one. He wanted to bring in a second surgeon. He was really worried about me, about doing this. And I hadn't physically seen him since January, and that was the beginning of March for the surgery at the end of March. So I didn't know that I had lost a whole ton more weight. And so if I had just decided that 190 was my goal and then I would be done at 190, I would not have been successful at the surgery. And that's because this became a lifestyle for me. I love how I eat. I love the flexibility of how I eat. I love that it is attainable. I can, I do sometimes eat off plan, but I don't normally. And I think that was what happened before I would eat and eat and eat crazy and weird stuff and wild stuff. And then once in a while I would eat healthy, right? So now this is a lifestyle. My children are starting to carry water bottles with them. We all eat what I make. Sometimes when I'm not home, they'll make something that I would not be able to eat. And that is fine because it's about balance. It's about moderation because this is a lifestyle. I really honestly believe that if you don't, how do I put it? If you don't make it in a way that is attainable for the rest of your life, you will not be able to successfully keep it off. I think some people do, but generally the way we lose it is the way we need to keep it off. So it needs to be a lifestyle change. And being able to have all of those things that I've talked about, having a coach, having a community, making a plan, making sure that it's not fad diets, but it's really attainable, that every food group is represented, maybe in healthy ways. But I really think that if you choose it to be a lifestyle, then you can be successful and keep it off. And I'm grateful that I am able to stay healthy now, and healthier than I was, because it is a lifestyle for me. Lastly, do it. Because really, honestly, I think it is important for the surgery to lose the weight. If they tell you it, really actually do it. My surgeon, he was so funny. He came to me after the surgery and he said, wow, it came from like the worst case scenario to the best case scenario. And I honestly think, as an aside, it was probably because when I had my original tram flap surgery, I was probably around 200 pounds, so I was rather large. And by the time of my surgery, I got to the goal that he wanted me to be at, I think the morning of my surgery I weighed 155, which is where he wanted me to be. And he said, you actually did what I told you to do, and it made it easy. So I had that extra mesh, I had that extra room for him to be able to utilize what was already in there instead of making things more challenging. And he said, I should take a picture of you and put a poster up because this is exactly what I would expect people to do. And he said, a lot of people don't. A lot of people hear it and kind of haphazardly do it, and we try our best to do it. And I would love for you to take this advice and understand that the doctors really, really want it for your surgery, and it is good for you. I love that I eat healthy. I love that I have all the food groups, and having a doctor just say that is one thing, but you taking it and internalizing it is really important. So I wanted to make sure that you heard that today. And it doesn't have to be a burden. It can be something that you can enjoy. I thoroughly enjoy what I eat and how I eat. I don't starve myself. And yeah. So, all that to say, you can do it. You can do hard things. You're awesome. Okay, well, that is it for today. I hope to see you next time. Thank you for joining me. And again, if you have any thoughts or questions, or things that you want me to address, put it in the comments section down below, and I will